Hi, my name is Hollie and I'm the owner of PilatesPT and founder of the Bump Plan. Now today I'm going to be taking you through a short 15-minute prenatal workout that's designed specifically for first thing in the morning. Now as your babies grow and as you get closer to your due date, you'll find that your posture might start to change, and we can find that it's quite common to get pregnancy-related lower back pain. Usually that's due to certain muscles in the body switching off as your babies get heavier and bigger. So this routine is specifically designed to wake up those muscles first thing in the morning so that your body is active and engaged to support that growing bump. Now I'm going to be using a pregnancy pillow for some of the exercises today. I'm using the Purflo pregnancy pillow, and this is my favourite pregnancy pillow that I've found, and I really wish it was around when I was pregnant with my daughter Freya, because I tried numerous pillows and they were either too bulky, ugly, or I got really sweaty when I was using them. So what I like about the Purflo pillow is it's actually really pretty. I love the fabric on it. It has this breathable section in the centre, so if you're using it during pregnancy and hugging it in bed, you're going to not get so sweaty. But equally, it's a great feeding pillow. When the babies are here, you can pop their head on there, and again, it's nice and breathable, so they're not going to get hot and sweaty. Also, I'm going to use it in the workout today because I know I can take the cover off and wash it. So I'll be using that today, but a similar pregnancy pillow or even a cushion off of your sofa would work well. So use what you have around the house. So it's just really important to stress that you must only do this routine if you are a low-risk pregnancy. So if you have any contraindications to exercise, you mustn't do this routine. I always say if in doubt, just log out. So if you're not sure, I would avoid the routine. But if you are safe to exercise, you're a low-risk pregnancy, this is fantastic for you. So when you're ready, guys, I'd like you to start at the end of your mat. So let's just start by getting some awareness of what our bodies are doing at the moment. What is your posture like at the moment? So have a look down at your feet. I would like you to start by getting those into a neutral position. So we're going to have them hip width apart and parallel, so they look like the number 11. Pick up the toes, spread them nice and wide across your mat, and then lift the arches of your feet. There's a tendency for the arches to soften and collapse during pregnancy, so feel like they are lifted away from the ground. So what we're aiming for here is the weight spread equally across the whole of the foot. Now, other than the feet, I'd actually like you to just relax. So find your relaxed, default, lazy posture here. I'm not asking you to find the posture that you think I want you to have. I want you to find the posture that you do have, because it changes quite a lot during pregnancy. So maybe you put all your weight on one leg, and that's really common if you already have a child because you carry them on the same side all the time. Maybe you'd stand with your hands on your lower back, which is another really common posture type. Maybe you are starting to find that you have a tilt in your pelvis, and you can see this quite well in me. I have an anterior tilt, and it did get worse during my pregnancy. So you find that you get this deep arch in your lower back, and your bump is pulling the pelvis forwards. So just start making these mental notes about that posture type, and it really helps you to know what you're doing for most of the day. Because let's be honest, this is how you're stood when you're not concentrating. Now, we've found our relaxed, lazy posture. I now want you to find your neutral posture. And this is, we're saying, if there was a perfect posture, what would that look like? So we start from the ground up. We've already done the feet. They're parallel, they're hip width apart. I want you to check in with your knees. They should be unlocked. If in doubt, lock them, so straighten the legs as much as you can, and then soften those knees off. Now the pelvis is a big one, because this has usually quite a big change during pregnancy because of where you carry your baby weight. So I'd like you to find neutral. Usually we'd use our hands and we would line up the hip bones and the pubic bone, but if you've got a bump, that can be really tricky. So instead, I want you to visualise today that the pelvis is a bowl of popcorn, and we don't want the popcorn spilling out the front, which is what mine tends to do, but equally we don't want it spilling out the back. So find that midpoint, and we're going to try and keep the popcorn in the bowl of the pelvis. Use your hands just to rub the bottom of the ribs. They shouldn't be poking out excessively. So see if you can just bring the rib cage back in and down. And then finally, relax the arms by your side. Imagine that you're in a flower press. So you're really wide through your top line and the eye line is forwards. Now this is a more effective or efficient posture type to have. This is neutral. Everything works best in neutral. So it's worth checking in with this every now and again or trying to find this. Now from here, what I'd like you to do is take a big breath in, and as you exhale, just rise up onto your tiptoes. So lifting up those heels and hold. Now this is going to be a bit wobbly at first, so feel free to hold onto a wall or a chair. Then inhale, lower the heels back down. Exhale again, rise up onto the balls of the feet. Inhale, lower those heels back down. Now we're going to keep this going, so it's just a really simple calf raise. And again, it might feel quite wobbly. That's completely normal. But as you do this, I'd really like you to think about where you're putting the weight on the ball of the foot. So try not to roll onto your little toe. Keep the weight spread equally across the ball of the foot. Try to maintain your neutral posture. So be careful that you're not doing this as you go up. Think about the popcorn staying in the bowl. Think about that pelvis really, really steady. The ribs are in the body and the eye line is straight ahead. Now we're just going to do 3 more of these. We're warming up the calves and really making sure we focus on ankle mobility. On the last one, come up and hold. Again, are you still on the ball of the foot? Don't roll out onto your little toe. Are you still neutral? Now lower those heels back down and stay here. I want you to lift up your pelvic floor. To do that, really we should focus on imagining holding in a poo, then holding in a wee. So it's in that order, a poo and then a wee. I also want you to imagine you're wearing a corset and it's a bit tight. So we feel this stabilising muscle wrapping around our core. Now bring your hands into prayer position. From here, as you inhale, I'd like you to fold at the hips. I'd like you to bow. And we're going to come out as far as is comfortable for you and we're going to hold. Now it's really important at the bottom here that we're in the correct position. So I want you to make sure that your knees are soft. So don't lock out those knees. Your core is engaged, so don't forget you're lifting your pelvic floor and you're wearing a corset that's a bit tight. Make sure these glutes are on, so you might want to give them a poke or a prod, and your spine is nice and neutral. Now take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to push your feet into the ground. You're going to slowly rise all the way back up to standing, to neutral, and then we're going to do it again. So inhale, let's hinge forwards at the hips. Exhale, push the feet into the floor to rise all the way back to standing. Inhale, we bend, and exhale, we extend. So all this is a hip hinge. And when we fold at the hips, we're working the muscles in the back of the body. And remember, I mentioned at the start, because of where we hold our babies at the front of the body, the back of the body has a really big job to do. So we call this the postural chain, or the muscles that run up the back of the body, and we're activating them here. So really think about that neutral spine. The spine should always look like the letter S has been stretched out a little bit. So we've got those gentle curves of the back. Be wary of slouching, which is really tempting because we're on our phones and our laptops too much. And I really want you to keep an eye on that core. We've still got the pelvic floor lifted and we've got that corset switched on. Now we're going to do 3 more of these. Again, just waking up the back of the body so it helps you throughout the day. Now next one, I'd like you to come out and I'd like you to hold. Now go back to doing your checks again. The knees are soft, your glutes are on, your pelvic floor is lifted and your corset is engaged. Now from here, we're going to bring the arms to the side of the body like we're about to ski down a hill. Breathe in. As you exhale, take those arms forwards as far as you can, keep your back neutral. Inhale, bring the arms back to the side of the body. Do it again. Exhale, we reach those arms forwards, and then inhale, we pull the arms back to the side of the body. Now as we're moving these arms, I'd like you to keep that back really, really neutral. So maybe you don't take your arms as far as me. Just go within your range. Your glutes are still on, they're holding you in this position. So again, really, really great at activating those glutes. and you feel that your core and your pelvic floor are engaged, so they're helping to support that lower back. Now we're going to go for 3 more of these. Exhale to reach, inhale, return. 2 more. Now on the last one, let's see if we can take those arms forwards and hold it there. Is the pelvic floor still on? Is the core engaged? Bring your hands back to prayer at your chest, and then push the feet into the ground to come all the way back to standing and relax. And I would just have a bit of a wiggle. So shake out your legs in case your lower back started to kick in a bit there. Your lower back will have been working, but it's not all you should have felt. Now, when you're ready, we're going to come down onto the floor. So take your time. I'd like you to meet me sat on your bottom with your pillow behind you, because what we're going to do is we're going to carefully, starting on our left side first, come down onto our forearms. So what I'd like you to do is feel that you're supported by your pillow here. So I've got my elbows on the pillow. If you haven't got a pillow, you could put your arms on the floor. And we're on an incline, because it's really important after around week 14 that we aren't lying flat on our backs for longer than around 3 minutes. So we're just going to avoid that. So we're on an incline here. I'd like your knees bent, your feet on the floor. And I'd like you to find your neutral pelvis again. So just make sure that you're not tucking under, but equally you're not aggressively arching away from the ground. So we feel that the popcorn is in the bowl. Now look at your bumps. I'd like you to lift your pelvic floor, again imagining you need a poo and a wee, and then activate your corset muscle. So just imagine that you're wearing a corset and it's a little bit tight. Now from here, press your elbows into the ground, show off your lovely boobs. We're going to float our left leg up to tabletop and we're going to hold. Now look at your tummies, they should still be round. They should not have gone pointy. We call that doming. If that has happened, I'll give you an option in a moment. Now lower that foot back down and then lift the other leg. We're going to exhale, lift the leg up. Inhale, we're going to lower it back down. Now, as we march these legs, again, what we're looking for here is keeping the pelvis still and maintaining a nice smooth bump. I don't want your bumps to go pointy. Now, if they are going pointy, what we're going to do is slide the foot along the floor instead and then slide it back in. Slide the other leg away and slide it back in. So that's the option for you if you were doming. Now, doming is not something that you need to be scared of. It's just something we try to avoid. It basically means that the pressure in your core is too much right now. And so because our abdominals separate as our babies get bigger, we can see that pressure pushing through the gap. So that's when we make the exercise easier. Otherwise, we're going to continue lifting the leg. Now, if you're lifting up the leg and you're still not seeing any doming, you feel like you've got control, we could lift the leg, extend it away, bring it back to tabletop, and then lower it back down. So we lift the leg, extend it away, bring it back in, and lower it back down. So as we extend the leg again, we're adding in some extra effort to the core, but we do need to just keep an eye out that we're not doming. If we're doming, reduce the range of movement or take that extension away. What's going on with your shoulders, guys? Make sure that you're not sinking into those arms. We're still trying to show off our collarbone or show off our boobs, and that core is staying nice and still. So we're going to do 3 more of these. That pelvic floor and corset muscle help to reduce the chance of you doming. They give you extra support. When you're done with your last one, you're going to slowly bring the foot back to the ground and you can relax. And you're going to roll onto your left-hand side, push yourselves up to seated and find a comfortable seated position. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the pillow behind you for support, or you could rest up against a wall if you like, and again, you could use the pillow for support. I just want you to be in a comfortable seated position. Now, you could sit cross-legged, you could have your legs in a frog position, you could have them out in front, you could sit on your pillow, whatever is most comfortable for you. I'd just like you to put your hands on your knees and sit up nice and neutral. Close your eyes and just take a few big deep breaths here to finish off. We're going to take a big breath in through the nose and a noisy exhale out through the mouth. Big breath in through the nose and a noisy exhale out through the mouth. We're going to do one more big breath here. As you exhale, imagine that you're blowing out any tension that you might have held in the body. And then when you're ready, you can open the eyes, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll, gently take your head from left to right, and that is you guys done here. So it's just a really short routine just to wake up some of the key muscles in the body, woke up the back of the body, the postural chain, and started to get some effort going through the core. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope you found it helpful. If you want to find out more about my prenatal workouts, you can always follow us on Instagram at The Bump Plan, and we'd love to see you in some of our live workouts online very, very soon. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.